Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for Kent to join us. Women love him, men want to be him. Size of him is a big old lump, Kent, now, isn't he? He's proper pounding them irons. Uh, but yeah, for those of you that keep telling me David Benavidez is not that good, have a look at his record. 30-0, 24 by way of, they're calling him the monster. But if you remember, when Boutte came over to UK, he'd had 10 defences. He was 30-0, 24 KOs. And look what the Cobra did to him and wrote him off. So there you go. So we're just waiting for Kent. He should be here in a second. So he's looking well, Kent. It looks like he's got a Juventus top on. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. I'm on. But hey ho. I'm just thinking, who have we got who can beat Benavidez? Who do we think? Do we want to see Benavidez against Bivol or Better Beef? Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that's a good fight. What do you think, Kent? Benavidez against Bivol or Better Beef?
It's
Hey there, Kent.
I my heart says two things. I think that best time for Bivol to beat Beterbiev was the last time. I think getting into a rematch this time, I think it will be a lot more difficult for him. I thought he won that last fight, but I think it will be a lot more difficult this time, and going to have him face Beterbiev again, it's going to be much more difficult, especially when someone punches as hard. I think the next time Bivol needs to be a lot more aggressive at times in the fight. And whenever Beterbiev is being really aggressive, I think he needs to match it and try and counter it. That's the only way he's going to beat Beterbiev. It's kind of like metal sharpens metal. It's going to be the way to win that fight.
What do you think to that top you've got? Is that Juventus?
Yeah, 1998.
Zidane,
No, Baggio, number 10.
Roberto Baggio. Is that him who missed that penalty in World Cup?
Yeah, Baggio was sensational.
Yeah, he was a good player, wasn't he?
Probably one of the greatest number 10s of all time.
Yeah, yeah. Even better than Teddy Sheringham.
You joking? You joking me?
Yeah, I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. Teddy couldn't run, could he? Uh,
Didn't need to. Didn't need to run.
how have you got that show on 22nd with Bivol and Better Beef?
It's a great show, Russell. It's
Oh,
really
it's
hard to argue that
amazing, isn't
it's
it?
not.
Amazing.
It's sensational. I'm really looking forward to Caballel and Zhang. That's going to be that's going to be mad. That's a mad fight. So it is that's a great fight. I'm really looking forward to that more than anything. To be fair, it's just going to be a crazy fight. That I'll say it's going to be. I'd say it's going to be a 4 round, 6 round shootout. It really is going to be crazy.
Do you think if Caballel beats Zhang, they'll give him his flowers?
He doesn't need them because he's getting really well paid. You know what do you want? Do you price? You know basically the way Caballel and Zhang are right now, they're actually better off without titles
Yeah.
because you're not having to pay sanction fees, you're not having to fight mandatories, you're fighting really good fights that people want to see. not every world title fight is a fight that people want to see. Not every mandatory is what people want to watch. So I think they're possibly better off than having a title. They're probably getting near enough. Not near. They're getting really good money for not having to fight and defend world titles. I think they're in the perfect situation. I don't think either of them would need a title. Winner
Yeah,
stays on.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I just think that Caballero never seems to get a title shot, does he?
I think he's just one of them fighters that he's really, really good. He's really dangerous. He doesn't really have much name brand value. So it's really hard for him to get in the mix. But he was European champion for a long time. He was meant to fight Fury a couple of years ago during COVID. So, but he's in the mix now. It doesn't matter then. Yes, he hasn't had opportunities, but nobody really had opportunities. No, look at the amount of time that Joshua was having rematch clauses and winning titles and losing titles, and Fury and Wilder was having their trilogy fights, and Wilder was just fighting whoever he wanted before that. So nobody really got much opportunities pre that, post that. So he's getting chances now. He's not obviously getting world title fights, but he doesn't really need them. He's getting really well paid.
Yeah, yeah. It's how do you see Del Boy and Wallin fight going, Ken?
Absolutely terrible fight. That's awful, awful fight. Who would want to watch that? Dreadful. Wallen basically looked awful against AJ. Like that was a terrible performance against AJ. Like really bad. Then you look where Dale Boy is right now. He's just past it. That's a terrible fight. Awful fight.
I think Derek should pack it in now, Ken.
Well, he's made a lot of money. Whether I think he should or not, it's not really up to me. But he's made good money. But he's going to wait around until he gets the Saudi money.
Yeah, that's
He
what
will be boxing until he gets Saudi money.
they're all hanging on for that Saudi dollar, aren't they? You think?
Who's he going to fight? Is he waiting for Wilder? At one stage that there was talk of Eddie putting him on with Wilder, but it's it's strange. I think he's just going to wait around for Saudi money and hoping he gets somebody like a shot Warren Wilder or possibly get the winner of Zhang Kabayel. I don't know. But Valen and him is a terrible fight. I thought Valen's performance against AJ was disgraceful. It was awful, and he just gave up from the second the fight started. He was just there to take a hiding.
He's knocking on a bit now, though, Derek, isn't he?
I think he's a year younger than me. I think he's 40 now.
Chisora, he's 40 odd, isn't he? Chisora.
Yeah, yeah, he's had a lot of really tough fights, difficult fights. But as I say, there's so many guys there now that are just going to wait around until they get big Saudi money. That's all it is.
He's 42 this year, Derek.
Wow, well, same age as me then.
They keep digging him up, don't they? They're not going to be happy until he's on slab, are they? Touch wood.
But it was funny that Frank Warren was rinsing him for years when he was with Eddie, that he was past it, and that now he's promoting him.
And oh, you couldn't make it up, could you? When he got beat by Caballel, Bricktop came out and he was saying, "Oh, Derek, you're going to get hurt and all that." And now look,
He was rinsing him for years, like years. and now he's promoting him. It's just these guys are embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing.
You know what I mean? I look at Derek.
Embarrassing, the amount of things that Frank Warren has said over the years about Eddie, about Matchroom, about the zone, and now he's going to the zone.
When he were going on, do you remember? I know I always bring this up, right? When Eddie got in first at Saudi about 5 years ago, wasn't it? He came out going on about human rights, didn't he? Then he were hammering StubHub. You know what I mean? And DAZN. And now look.
It's awful, isn't it? It's awful. It's just they're just hypocrites, Russell. They really are hypocrites, the two of them. And it it's not by choice either. They have to work with each other. They have no choice.
Hello.
Saudi have just come in and basically done what Vince McMahon done in the wrestling and bought over all the territories and took over all the territories and controlled it. Like now they've got a stake in the zone as well. They bought into the zone as well. So it just looks like they've just taken over the whole of boxing and everyone surrendered it to them.
Yeah, it's a joke, mate, isn't it? Joe Joyce. He's 40 in a few months. Why is he not put out to pasture? What's happening there?
I think it's the same as Del Boy. I think they're just waiting for Saudi money. They're just waiting for a big opportunity. You know, it's not like they weren't getting paid the amount of money that Fury and Joshua were getting for years. I think Del Boy. So you can't really blame them for maybe waiting for a big payday because they haven't been getting that type of money that obviously Joshua and Fury were getting. So they're waiting for a big opportunity in Saudi, a big payday, maybe two, and that will be them. So you can't really blame them, can you?
No. What about Elmer Fudd against the Lazy Rhino? Should the rematch happen?
Well, I think Dave Allen didn't really do himself any justice after the fight. And the way he was getting on, kissing Johnny Fisher's backside after the fight and saying, "I'm so proud of you, how you get through that and how you've developed and all." And I'd be thinking, what? What? I'm like, you just got robbed in this fight and you're sitting getting on like your best mate. This guy, that's basically just getting rid of a rematch. That's basically like saying you don't care. Probably did, and he was probably absolutely gutted. But the way he reacted after the fight was shocking. He just showed no spite, no ball, no belief, no passion whatsoever. It looks like he just surrendered it to him.
Yeah.
So if you're getting on like that after a fight, well, why would people want to watch it then if you didn't seem that bothered?
Yeah. When's Isaac Lowe gonna have a bath?
I don't actually think he could spell bath, Russell.
That's why I call him Bamba Gascoigne. Okay, then we'll move on to. We've spoke about Elmer Fudd, haven't we? And White Rhino. White Rhino looks like he's trying to talk his son out of that rematch, doesn't he?
I don't know. I don't get him. Like, I don't get him. I don't understand his psychology. It doesn't make sense. So it doesn't. Just don't get him. especially after the fight. It was just bizarre.
I know. I just wanted him to walk up to Elmer Fudd and fill him in and hype the rematch up, not start hugging and kissing him.
Even just after it, and say, look, I'm gutted. I was robbed there, and he knows it. And the next time, I'm going to stop him. Like, that's not being disrespectful. That's starting to build the fight up. But he done the complete opposite. So what's the point? If he doesn't care about it, why should I watch a rematch?
Yeah. Right. The lot's been made about this Crusher against Junior fight. Crusher Ben against Eubank Jr. He's jumping up 2 weight divisions and that. Listen, he last fought at welterweight 3 years. No, 3 years ago in April, right? So he's been fighting at light middle since. So he's really only jumping up 1 weight division. But back in the day when Leonard, Duran, and Earns were jumping up like a weight division, or nobody said a word. Now all of a sudden they've got to have these rehydration clauses and all that. Didn't they learn anything from Watson against Eubank too?
It's utterly disgraceful. I think there's not a lot going on about it, and this fight is going to be on the duress of the IBF. So the IBF always had a rematch, like a rehydrate. I remember when Ricky Hatton fought Juan Arango and really struggled in that fight, and it was because he couldn't put more than 9 pound on after the weigh in. So yes, it's really good that possibly that the IBF and bodies are actually looking at hydration and rehydration. But what is really bad is when promoters are actually saying, well, putting it in the context you actually can't fully and safely rehydrate. I think that's really, really dangerous. I think the fight has no credibility whatsoever. None. I think if Conor Benn would have started his career as a flyweight, he still would have been fighting Chris Eubank Jr. I think it's just an absolute shit show of a fight. I think Eubank is well past his best. I think his punch resistance and his legs have near enough gone. And I think Nigelson has stepped up into this fight, in the spotlight, and has fought no one of note. And I mean no one of note. And doesn't really deserve to be there. He's avoided everyone from area level, British level, Commonwealth level, European level, world level, and now he's jumping beyond that into this fight. It's a shocking fight. So it is. It really is, and I think the board need to come out and make a statement and talk about how is Conor allowed to fight now? How is Nigel's son allowed to fight now after the last 2 years? What's going on? There's nothing definitive about this? Nothing.
They've not proved anything to me that he's cleared. But Darren Barker in that interview's telling him he's proved his innocence and all that. Who's he proved his innocence to?
Strict liability, Russell. It was in his system. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. 274-page dossier cost him £1 million, but where's the dossier? He should get a refund.
Where is it? Where is it? You know, anybody else, any other fighter that fails a drugs test, regardless of their profile or their name, would be hung out to dry and do the 2 years, do the 4 years, do the 18 months, where he just kept on and on and on. And people need to know what has actually happened here. You know, did he serve a silent ban? If it was in his system, strict liability. So does that mean that every fighter in the last 20 years that has failed a drugs test is innocent? They could use the exact same excuse as they did. Brutal. That's absolutely awful. it's an awful situation, and I think it just is in real bad taste. This fight is in really bad taste.
You think, Kent, that the media are to blame for a lot of this from not asking the proper questions?
The media now isn't the media, Russell. YouTubers aren't the media.
Mm.
They're not media. They're not. They're social media. They aren't media.
Yeah, it's an hard one, isn't it?
It's
It's
that old saying: you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and you know they're all living off the promoters. They're living off the fighters, so they're not going to ask the proper questions of the proper parameters. It's if they do that, they'll not get access. Simple as.
yeah, it's what did you think to Puppy Parsons' suit on DAZN?
I don't watch that. I don't like him. Don't want to even look at him.
Not keen on the gerbil.
What does he know? What does he know about boxing?
Terry says he's not qualified to talk about beef.
Not talk. He's not qualified to talk about anything. Never mind. Never mind beef. No, I try and stay away from all them guys. They're just all the same. Same questions. Same type of platforms. There's nothing organic about them. It's just access, trips, Saudi. It's just utter nonsense. I
Tom
try
Ford
not to see that crap now.
sunglasses. Tom Ford sunglasses.
I just don't want to look. I just they're not proper boxing people. I don't want to and listen to people try and talk about boxing that don't know about it. No, why no? Why does he come on and talk to me about boxing?
Well, people like that, they're eager to please, aren't they? And they're not gonna put hard questions to these people, are they? You know what I mean, Ken?
I don't think they would know what type of questions they ask anyway because they don't really know anything about boxing. So that's a part of it as well. You know, they're only there because it's a job and it's an easy way to not really do anything as a job. You know, it's an easy career for them, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Liam Cameron, Ben Whitaker, does it happen?
I would like to see it happen. I don't think Ben Shalom's really good at doing business. I don't. I think if it doesn't happen, it's going to be his fault, Russell.
You reckon?
I think he's an awful promoter. Really, not a really good businessman.
Is he on his way
The
out,
amount of
Ben
mistakes he's
Shalom at
made.
Sky, Kent?
I think the Sky thing's been awful. To be fair, I
Yeah.
think it started off slow and they built it up really well, and they had some good things going. They were getting great numbers. They were getting good fights, and the last year has been dreadful.
Yeah. Do you think they'll give a position like Ben Shalom's to Horsecock?
No, because he's not a promoter and he wouldn't want that. He wouldn't want that. Why would he want us? Why would he want that stress for? He's done an easy job at Sky, talking about boxing, being on the panel, turning up for 3 days, getting the razzmatazz, and then getting back home and doing what he wants. I don't think he would want any part of it. I think Johnny wouldn't be that stupid, Russell.
Oh, yeah, no.
Definitely not. Why would you want to do that? You know, he's on a pig's back, so to speak, at Sky. It's easy money for him. It's easy job. Why would you want to go from that to stressing about making fights and having the pressure on you to deliver for Sky? I can't see that.
What about It's Big Freeze? What next for him?
I can't see him fighting again, Russell. I don't. After that knockout was absolutely devastating. He got absolutely poleaxed. I don't see a way back from Russell, to be fair. It's, if you can't win at British level, where are you going to go?
Well, he's 34 in summer.
I can't see him coming back. I can't see. I don't see anything there for him.
What about Fabio?
Fabio is in a real great place at the minute. He's in a great position. I could see him possibly in a big fight, possibly somebody like the winner of Zhang Kabayel. That would be a great fight. He's ranked number one WBA, possibly Kubrat Pulev
Yeah.
for a regular belt. That's perfect for him. That's at the level that he kind of needs to be at right now. I think that's the perfect level for him.
Yeah, I'd like to see Fabio get a Pulev title shot because he's done everything asked of him, hasn't he?
He's come through the ranks. He started late. He didn't have much of an amateur career, and he's look what he's done. Look what he's achieved. He's went through domestic route. I think it's perfect for him.
What about the White Rhino against David Adelaide?
I don't want to see the White Rhino against anyone. He doesn't really. The guy got robbed in Saudi, and he was okay about it. So if he doesn't care about that, why should I invest my own emotions and watching him? Can't see it.
What do you think to people who are going to say you're being a bit harsh there, Kent?
I don't care. So
Yeah. He can crack David Adelaide, can't he? Do you think he'd be target practice, Rhino, for Adelaide?
Adelaide's a big puncher, a really big puncher. He's working with Adam Booth now, so he's going to be full of confidence. Any fighter comes from that gym are full of confidence. That's one thing that Adam Booth is really good at doing is getting fighters confident. I think he's right in the mix that, if Wardley did step up for a regular belt, he would give up his domestic belts and it would pave the way for the likes of David Adelaide to come in and fight for a British or a Commonwealth or step up even for a European title. So I think he's in a really good place at the minute. Obviously a fighter who can punch like David Adelaide with confidence is really dangerous.
I'm just looking on here. It's Big Freeze has got two nicknames, Big Freeze and the Eraser. The Eraser, aren't it?
Well, he was erased in that fight anyway against Fabio Wardley. It fitted well, didn't it?
Well, he said here, I want my revenge in this life or the next. I want a trilogy with Fabio Wardley.
Not after that performance, no way. He was just completely poleaxed. It'd be different if it was a shootout and either of them were dropped or hurt, but not after that. No way.
What about Adelaide and Big Freeze going at it?
You never know, but Adelaide's a big puncher, and get him with a big puncher after a knockout defeat like that, it's going to be tough, and it all depends what Moses Atama does next as well. Does he go domestic or just go straight at the world level?
Nobody
I think he
mentions
just
him, do
goes
they? None of
straight.
these like Big Freeze and all that. Do they not mention him Moses, are they?
Don't want to. He'll smash every one of them.
Do you think
He'll smash everyone.
if it's Big Freeze fights Joe Joyce, what do you think they'd call the fight? The title of the fight for the show?
Frozen.
Frozen. Do you think they stayed in amateurs too long, Ken?
Way too long. Way too long. I think it's not just style ways, but the wear and tear on the body
Yeah.
to recover. punch resistance as well. It's you go in, you've been in the amateur a long time, you're getting hit a long time. I think you really need to get in. Early 20s is perfect. Early 20s, get in. As soon as you can get out of the amateurs, once you're fundamentally confident and mature and confident and competent, turn pro.
Yeah.
And try and get a title as quick as you can, because the longer the build up, the more wear and tear it is on the body. So I think if you've got the ability to go and fight for a title right away, go and fight for a title in 2 fights, 3 fights, and have a good career where you don't need 15, 20 fights, 30 fights. Go and get stuck in right away. The same as what they're doing with Moses Atama now. Joe Joyce did it now. Joe Joyce was fighting for British and Commonwealth titles with 2 and 3 fights in, which was really good matchmaking and was really brave, because he had no choice. Because he started boxing late, but turned pro late. So he had no choice but go for domestic titles right away and get yourself in the mix for world honors.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Well, we're out of time, Ken. I've got to nip out. But listen, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Spoke very well, as usual, very well informed. And I hope you're okay.
I'm good, Russell. I'm glad to get back on. And I hope to get back on next week.
Okay, we'll have you back on next week. You know that, Ken. All right, you take care, pal.
Peace out.
Peace out. Cheers, mate. Well, that were Kent from Ireland. Women love him, men want to be him. He's looking to have put a bit of size on there. Old Kent, he's looking well. So that's about it, really. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment and sharing the videos. Go on, booyaka. Max, give me a ring. Pop, pop, bang.